Joining us is Mahmoud Hussein, expert in international and Arab affairs. A very warm welcome, sir, and it's a pleasure to have you with us in the program today. Sir, is Hamas disarmament realistically achievable without a political solution for Palestinians?
The disarmament will end the conflict in a way in the second phase, will end all the internal conflicts, and the disarmament will make the stability and security called for by the Arab states, especially Egypt and the Sharm el-Sheikh Conference for Peace. This will help establish stability and will end the existence of armed groups in Gaza, and the international agreement led by the Egyptian state aiming to prevail stability in the Arab region, especially in the Gaza Strip, was already based on establishing stability for the entire Arab world, especially the population of Gaza. And that's why the disarmament is inevitable, and the Israeli forces must reach the internationally agreed upon point without taking further lands. And this is the difficult equation that Egypt is working on to prevail peace in the Arab region and especially in Gaza. And that's why there must be an legitimate process for this, and there must be international coordination between Israel and the Palestinian resistance with all of its factions in an international agreement, international legislation in accordance with the Human Rights Charter and the United Nations Charter, which was brought up once and again by President Trump. The idea of stability and peace must be established but with all the conflicting parties, militarily and politically, in addition to respecting the wise leaders who are calling for peace, such as President el-Sisi and the African and international leaders as well. The idea of disarmament makes Israeli stance very difficult, and it forces Israel to stop waging aggressions against the Palestinians and to stay away from the borders of Gaza and to eliminate the idea of the Gazan displacement. As we say in Egypt, it might be an excuse for Israel, led by Netanyahu, to intervene to resist the existence of arms inside Gaza, and this excuse
Sir,
must
can
be
I ask you a
eliminated.
question, please, in this context? Without a credible Palestinian state horizon, what incentive exists for armed groups to disappear?
I think the incentives will be represented in a real Palestinian national government based on Palestinian figures, as Egypt has always called since the late President El Sadat, to have a Palestinian state of institutions with an army that is capable of having a defense force for the Palestinian people. The defense process with all of its pillars, institutionally and privately, inside Israel, in Palestine, and this will be an incentive for the Palestinians, and it will be a state against another state to have border zones and border agreements, and this will prevail stability based on the unification of the Palestinian factions under a real Palestinian state with real institutions, including the Palestinian army, for instance, in the future. We have talked about this as Egyptians over
Got your
and
point,
over.
sir. Sir, in 10 seconds, because I have to wrap up now, do you think that Hamas is going to disarm, and do you think that Israel is going to stop building, sir, settlements in the West Bank?
I think it's a very difficult equation. There must be international agreements entered between Netanyahu government and Hamas leaders with the Egyptian, Qatari, Saudi international mediation to document this agreement with disarmament and stopping the settlements in the West Bank and the occupied Palestinian territories.